Hello everyone, my name is Jenny Caudillo.
My name is Sarah Dahel,
And I'm Youlen Ghazalian.
and today we will be introducing to you our senior project, Zero Waste Campus Dining. Okay, so for today we'll be going over our introduction, our background, some of the industrial engineering applications that we will be using and have used in our project so far, the lit review, and the design of our process.
Our team consists of Jenny, Sarah, and I. Our supporting teams are Austin, Frederick, Kyle, Gage, and Raphael. They'll be working on various components of our senior project and will support our overall scheme. Our technical advisor is Tally Freed, and our sponsor is the Radio Frequency Identification, also known as RFID Club, with the key stakeholders being Greg Gio as Operations Manager for Cal Poly Campus Dining, and Eric VM, who's the Energy and Sustainability Analyst for Facility Services. The problem statement for our project is that campus dining has a goal of becoming a zero-waste entity for the Cal Poly community, but the current carryout containers produce waste with no viable alternative.
Some of the deliverables we will be presenting for this project are process flowcharts, value stream maps, economic cost analysis for both the current and our pilot system. We will also be performing risk assessment on our process design. We will be making control charts for the testing of the tags and adhesives during the design process, and we will also be making a pilot design of the bin.
Okay, so Eric VM contacted our advisor, Tally Freed, and the RFID Club in hopes of taking Cal Poly a step closer to becoming a zero-waste campus. So Cal Poly now wants to become a more sustainable campus, and Greg and Eric have a goal of making Cal Poly the first zero-waste campus, and hopefully will lead other schools to follow in their footsteps. Greg brought to our attention the Aussie system, as you could see in the photo. This was used at the University of California in Merced. It utilizes barcodes for takeout diner containers. So the goal here is to have Cal Poly integrate a similar system. The system will allow campus dining to track their containers and provide feedback and incentives to the customers after they've used them.
We'll be using various industrial engineering tools for our project. For process improvement, we'll apply lean principles in the design process to reduce work effort and improve efficiency. For project management, we have developed a Gantt chart for the project timeline as well as a statement of work. For industrial cost and controls, we will perform an economic cost analysis in using the reusable takeout containers. In human factors, we'll account for the public's opinion and behavior in using RFID pickup and return containers. For quality engineering, we'll perform tests on the adhesive and different types of tags, such as barcode versus RFID, to determine the most durable and cost-effective solution. For supply chain, we'll determine the amount of containers necessary to meet customer demand, account for loss, usage, and scrap within our calculations. For ergonomics, we'll analyze the impact of our current process for removing waste to the new process of moving containers around campus. And last but not least, we'll be using RFID system development, in which we'll design a process using RFID and pilot it at our Red Radish location.
For our literature review, we focus on three main topics: RFID, the economic aspect, and the sustainable aspect of our project. For RFID, we started off with a general scope, the quality, orientation, material, and readability of the different types of tags. Further, we reduced it to the pros and cons of barcode versus RFID upon Greg's mention of the Aussie system. We then looked into the RFID impact on the supply chain process as a whole, and the potential impacts that the RFID tags would be going under through our process, such as the washing cycles based on the amount of pressure, the heat, and the different chemicals that they'd be exposed to. For economic viability, we focused on determining the number of times the product should be used to break even during our process. And for sustainability, we focused at first on disposable versus reusable products and the carbon foot impact that would be used, and then we reduced that to a university impact as a whole.
Okay, so as far as the design goes, we have an objective, and that is to create reliable, cost-efficient identification system to track the reusable food containers. The constraints, though, with this are that we need to provide a container type that matches that of our pilot location at Red Radish. So this is in terms of the size of the bowl that the salad was used in, should definitely be a like for like. We also have other constraints such as the budget, the storage of all these containers, where they will be held, the RFID system limitations such as security, and the university restraints. Then, as far as our design process goes, we're going to be testing various conditions. This includes different types of RFID, testing whether we should use RFID or barcode, testing various types of adhesives that will withstand the wash cycle that the Tupperware will be put through, and then, of course, the return bins, which Austin and Frederick will be assisting us in, as mentioned earlier in this presentation.
Here you can see a pictorial representation of our process that we'll be designing. First, we will need to pair off the tag with each container. Once the customer actually checks out a food container, that information will also be going into our database. The consumer will later then return the container to our designated bins, and it will go through a wash cycle to be ready to be used again by another consumer. The goal is to have an adhesive strong enough to last many cycles for the container to be able to skip the first 2 steps and be labeling the RFID tags on the containers.
We would greatly appreciate your feedback on our project so far, so feel free to contact us via email. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to hearing back from you.